crosser, and I'm quoting here, carried a gallon bottle of wine which he drew in his mistress' cellar to the house of Jonas Gregory, and the wine was drunk by the company. And so there's all these kinds of things going on. And interestingly, Cross obviously is a servant, couldn't pay his fines, and so he's ordered to serve his master for 2 extra years to make up for that. And we can see then that people like the Cross, etc., are acting without restraint. And I think this is interesting. I don't think it has anything really to do with his Jersey origins. I think we see similar complaints made against a whole range of people, whether they're Irish, Native Americans, English, who are deemed to be bad Christians essentially. And it's the Cross and his idea that he's failing to accept this kind of moral liberty to do that only which is good. And he also refuses to accept restraints on speech and personal behaviour, as well as this religious issue. And so, obviously, the Jersey men and Jersey women aren't the only thieves who are in operation at this time, but they seem to get this reputation. And a final example, before I move on to kind of the concluding remarks, is that in 1683, then, we've got John Best spreading a rumour around Salem that the Jersey men, Nathaniel Beetle, had received £50 that, and I quote, black tip Mr. Brown's Negro was stolen from his master. So, as it turns out, actually, Beetle was entirely innocent. It was actually Best who was the man who had encouraged the slave to steal from Brown. But in attempting to hide his actions, Best found that it was a convenient and indeed fairly credible excuse to direct suspicions at this Jersey man. And so, I think it's really interesting because we see that contemporaries feel that Jersey men are kind of this stereotypical, involvement with these, but also that they're willing to work alongside and encourage African slaves in their pursuit of content. And so, I guess just bringing that together, we can see that in terms of the way they're described in cases of heated speech, from the title of this paper, you get these really interesting terms. Some of the common terms, not just the ones I've shown, are Jersey cheetah, they're often referred to as a name, there's a French dog essentially. And these terms had profound meaning essentially. To call someone a dog in the 17th century had manifest implications. It was widely believed that animals had no soul and no chance of salvation, and also obviously calling a man a dog or a name implied that he was not economically self-sufficient and he wasn't able to contribute to his family's livelihood. And so, these terms had profound meaning for these people. And so to kind of finish this story up then, as we get towards the end of the 17th century, tensions between France and England really do erupt, and we see open conflict taking place. Added to this then is that more well-known narrative of the Huguenot families arriving in New England. And so this has numerous implications for the people who came over early from Jersey. Just very quickly then, Philip English and his wife were accused in 1692 of witchcraft, in the Salem hysteria that works out. And so they actually escape. They're caught towards the end, and so they, with the help of their friends, escape. They're held in the tavern because the prison is overflowing essentially, and they manage to escape. And then Philip English actually comes back to Salem a while after, and resumes this kind of eminent position. And so I think that's really interesting because we can see, he's obviously very well known in the Salem community. He's the post of constable, he's been selected, he's been on the jury of trials, and he's incredibly rich. He's probably one of, if not the richest people in Salem at this time. So he's called into question for a number of reasons. So what am I trying to say this afternoon then? Well, essentially what I'm trying to suggest to you is that these people do come into conflict with their neighbours, whether they're from Jersey and elsewhere. They take part in this wider community. Some of them, like Philip English, he's this famous merchant who trades all over the world with France, Bilboa,